Hey everybody, how's it going? Marcos Viegas for Fight Up TV, powered by Stagefront VIP. Being joined with John Ryder from his home in the UK. It's Thursday evening right now over there, John. How are we doing today, man? How you been since the fight with Canelo?
I've been good. I've been good. A few changes. Obviously moved house, moved to a new area nearer the gym. So good for future training camps. So that's a positive. And yeah, just getting back into camp now, looking for what's next.
A lot of people have suggested he's slipping a little bit. I think even after the press conference, you had mentioned like you felt like, oh, maybe Canelo is slipping a little bit. Do you still feel that way?
Yeah, I think he's an aging fighter. He's had a lot of busy years. I think 2020 took a lot out of him. Sorry, 2021 even after COVID, the three fights in a year, unifying the division. I think it took a lot out of him. Then the loss to Bivol, and then the win over Golovkin, which was a good win. He beat him every round, but it looked a bit lackluster. He come back, he had surgery on his wrist, and then he was coming back with me. And listen, I got in there with him, and he's the real deal. He's still got a lot left to give. I know there's going to be a lot of eyes on him on September 30th for the Charlo fight, but it's a fight I think he's going to come through and come through well. But where he goes from there, I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I was leading to. Like, based on that, like how good of a shot does Jermell have at beating Canelo?
Well, he's got a lot on his side. I mean, he's coming up in weight. He's probably naturally a bigger man anyway, with Canelo starting at welterweight. So I'm sure that the process of dieting is going to be a lot easier for Charlo now. He's not going to have to cut weight, and he's probably going to have a lot more enjoyable camp than he has ever. Working on tactics more than losing weight for the fight. So I'm sure he'll come in fresh, and look to cause the upset.
What type of fight do you see happening with Canelo and Charlo? Like when you played out in your mind and just knowing boxing and having spent those rounds that you did with Canelo in the fight?
I think it'll be a cagey affair. I think Charlo might come out early and try and press forward, but he'll realise that he's not going to get away with that and end up throwing caution to the wind a bit and throwing less.
I guess with the experience of having fought a Canelo, what would you, I don't want to say advise, but what would you say like, Jermell needs to look out for this because this was a really tricky thing that Canelo did. And like, I was surprised when Canelo did this.
Just like I say, when you think you're having success, you're really not. He's looking at what's next, and he's watching how you throw that shot and the other hand goes. And honestly, that shot, the uppercut he threw, was timed to perfection. I saw it coming, but it was just no time to get out of the way of it. So you've just got to be careful that he's always waiting. Like I say, even when you think you're having success, you're really not. He's luring you in. He's giving that full sense of security. But I think Charlo's got a chance. I think if he can take it to him up close and work way up close, I felt like I could have had a lot of success there. I just couldn't sustain it when I was in there with him.
Even with that, do you see him being able to beat Canelo, or you still favor Canelo in the fight? And do you feel that he stops him or they go 12?
I think he'll beat him well, Canelo. I don't know if he'll stop him, but I'd say he'd beat him wide on points. Yeah.
The other big thing that's like kind of surrounding all this is Terence Crawford saying he wants to move up 3 weight classes to fight Canelo. What do you think about that?
I would never count that man out. He's sensational. Yeah, he's the things he's doing. I mean, I don't think Errol Spence was what he once was in there. I think those accidents have taken their toll on his career, but it was an unbelievable performance. I think we all believed that. Well, I believe that Terence would win, but not in that kind of fashion.
Oh wow, you favor Terence against Canelo?
Oh, not against Canelo, sorry, against Spence.
Oh, okay. I was like, whoa, like, all right, let me know why.
No, I favoured him heavily in the Spence fight, obviously, just with what's gone on in Spence's career. But I mean, listen, let him go into a fight with Canelo. I'm sure the weight would play a massive part in it, and it would be hard for Terence. But listen, he's an unbelievable fighter. There's not a more natural switch hitter out there. Can do it both going forwards, going backwards. He's a once in a generation kind of fighter.
When you were in there with Canelo, because I've heard from trainers and other, Oscar De La Hoya thinks Crawford will beat Canelo. He thinks it'll be like a dominant performance from Terrence. I don't know if that's like his bias kind of bleeding in because of what happened, but when you were in there, did you see a lot of openings that you could be like, I think Crawford could put together punches in these instances, like Canelo's open for this?
Yeah, I think that's one thing I did notice about Canelo. He's there to be a hit now. He will take the shots to give the shots now, whereas before he was a lot more elusive, a lot more like catch counter with the shots. Whereas now he is taking a lot more shots to the head and body.
Yeah, they mentioned that, and the footwork. They feel, and this is not like a new thing. Like Canelo's never been like a quick-footed fighter.
No, yeah, and I think for many years now we've seen him with knee braces on and whatnot. So I don't know what toll his training's taken on his legs and his knees, but he's not a big mover. And yeah, like you say, he never really has been. Terrence has got that. He's got the movement, and it'll cause massive problems, I'm sure.
Yeah, man, but that would be that'd be insane. Just a guy moving up 3 weight classes and he ends up beating a Canelo. Like I would imagine that Canelo is going to be the betting favorite, but talking from a lot of people, like a lot of people are saying like, no, I think he could pull it off.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be nice to see Terrence fight Charlo.
Yeah,
unify light middle, and then go from there. I mean, they're both aging. I'm sure. I think Terrence is probably older than Canelo even. So I mean, a year down the line, there's nothing to say this couldn't happen when it's only a 2-weight gap. Then
post fight after when you spoke at the press conference, you had your nose broken and all that, or did you have? Was it broken or no?
Yeah, it was broken. Yeah,
it was broken. Okay, yeah. How is all that?
Feels good. I can breathe good. I still can't sing, but I couldn't sing before. But other than that, yeah, I can breathe good. So I feel good, and I can't wait to get ready to go.
Having shared time in the ring with Canelo, and I was actually curious about this because of a recent thing that Canelo had said to the press. He says, "Hey, it's one thing seeing me on tape; it's another thing seeing me in the ring." How was that difference from your experience?
It's true. It's very true. It's one thing watching him on tape, but it's different being there with him. And all fighters, you look at things they do on tape and you think, well, that you can capitalize on that. But being in there, and Canelo, especially how smart he is and how cunning and game he is for setting traps and thinking you're having success, but then making you realize that he's really just luring you in and playing with you. He's playing with his food.
Did you feel that way with your fight that you had with him?
At time, well, looking back on it now, yeah, massively. In the first couple of rounds, when I thought, well, I'm winning here, I'm having success, but you realise that he's just downloading that data, and he's planning. He's 3 or 4 moves ahead, 3 or 4 rounds ahead, even just looking for the particular shots, the things you do when he feints, when he throws certain shots, and he's got it all there. He's very patient, and he's very smart with what he does.
How did his punch feel in there? His power?
Not. I've been in with bigger punchers, I'm sure. Apart from the shot that broke my nose, the best shot was a body shot that hit me in the elbow. That actually hit me in the stomach, and that was a real stiff shot that just had a knock-on effect. But other than that, he wasn't one punch concussive power, but he had a lot of power in both hands.
Yeah, we don't, have you got any indication that Golovkin is like active still, or if he's retired or not? Like it's like this big mystery around that right now.
Yeah, I mean, I keep getting tagged in posts and whatnot on Instagram, but yeah, it seems very up in the air at the moment and very unsure. So there's the latest talk is Jaime Munguia. So whatever comes first.
I like that fight with you and Munguia, actually. I think style-wise, it's a very good fight, and especially after seeing that Derevyanchenko fight, I would imagine you're kind of like licking your lips, like, oh man, this is very advantageous for me in my style.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's a fight for me. I need to get back to winning ways, and I think for Munguia, he needs to step up, and he's obviously seen how the fight went with Canelo, so he needs to see what he can do and if he can get anywhere near that.
What was your take from what he showed in that Deverenchenko fight? Because I know a lot of people after the fight said, hey, maybe he still has a lot of work, a lot of growing to do at this point.
It's hard. I mean, he's coming up from the weights. He's not done a long stint at middleweight, so he's pretty much skipped middleweight altogether. And it's growing into that position. Deverenchenko is a rough house. He's a hard man to beat and a hard man to look good against. Yeah, it was a close fight, but we can't. I don't think we can cry it as a robbery there. But I think he needs to step up and take these bigger fights on there and show how good he is, because I think he's falling by the wayside a bit, that he's not taking these big challenges.
Yeah, what do you make of that? Because that's like one of the main criticisms that have been directed at him.
Is it? I don't know if it's bad management or good promotion. They're guiding him to I'm sure they're trying to guide him to a title fight against Canelo, an all Mexican showdown. So if that's what they're doing, then it's smart promotion. But I think at some point it needs to be let off the leash and really go for it.
Yeah, you're right. He's getting to a point because of how many fights he's had, and he has won a title, that it's like it's sink or swim, man. You got to go in there now with the top guys.
Yeah, for sure. I think he's a danger now of just treading water and becoming stagnant at what he's doing and not progressing. So I think this is why he needs the challenges. He needs to go in there against someone like me to try and make a statement. And obviously, it's win-win for both of us. I need to get back to winning ways now. Another loss for me signals curtains in my career, whereas he needs to go out there and prove that he can kick it with the best.
You really think that, man? Like it's at that point for you in your career that if you get one more loss, it's that?
It depends what fashion you lose, I suppose. You go in there and you get splattered in a couple of rounds, then yeah, I think you got to look to what's next, and aside from boxing. But I mean, after the Canelo defeat, it was one of those when I couldn't wait to get back in the ring again. Couldn't wait to get back into camp. Whereas I think if you go in there against someone you feel you're going to beat and going to beat comfortably, and you get beat, then it's back to the drawing board for sure.
So you had mentioned that potentially that fight, you're eyeing that fight like around November, right?
Ideally, yeah, November, December, get a good camp back under me, and yeah, I'd gladly fight him.
Yeah, because I know Munguia is in camp. I believe he changed trainers to Freddie Roach now. He's at Wild Card. I spoke to Oscar. He said, yeah, they are working on a few things for Jaime, but I would imagine see you having to travel again to come over here to fight him. You're like the road warrior, bro. Like you go wherever.
Glenn Johnson's got nothing on me.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, no, listen, I'd gladly go to the States, Mexico, wherever it may be.
Yeesh, man, that's I don't know. How do you feel about that, having to go to people's backyards?
Well, I suppose LA is not really his backyard. I don't really know where they'd have to fight. But listen, not every fight can be in your own hometown, so I'm willing to travel. I've always wanted to take my career stateside, and I've been lucky enough to do it on a few occasions now.
Trending topic. I don't know if so much. Well, it's kind of controversy, but this Usyk Dubois thing. In your opinion, John, was it a low blow or was it a legal shot?
I feel it was low. Yeah, I feel it was.
It's low.
I've been checking on my own body. I was thinking, right, the shorts would be there. Yeah, I think
so wait. So where are you checking on your body? Like where? Because they bring up like the navel, but in my research, I read that it's like the hip line.
Yeah, I mean, I've been imagining my trunks on my belly button as such, a few inches down for the waistband, and yeah, I think it's I definitely think it was low. Yeah,
it was low.
Yeah.
So
sure.
when they're telling you in the locker room, the ref usually says, "Look, the line's right here, right?"
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I figured. Yeah. It's weird because you see one replay and it looks low. You see another replay and it looks legal.
Yeah, I mean that's it. It's all from the angle of the you see it from. I did see the video circulating of Usyk landing an elbow as well, but the elbow is not in question at the moment. It's just a low blow.
So what should happen in your opinion, John?
Listen, I think the right hand was on the wall. I think the right man won on the night. Um, let's just see him move on, take care of business with Hergovich, and then get in the ring with Tyson Fury and settle it all for once and for all.
Yeah, that's the fight that we all want to see, but I know there's a lot of fans that want to see an immediate rematch. Even though I don't know, when you look at the fight overall, it seemed like Usyk was like in control for a majority of the fight.
Yeah, I felt he was. I felt. Listen, I didn't think Dubois would win a second of a round, but he had success early. Then Usyk just started turning the screw and running away with it a bit. But I think ultimately, Daniel Dubois is still young. He can come again. Um, let the let Usyk and Fury take care of business. Get that one champion, and there's plenty of time in Dubois' career for him to come again.
A lot of people have suggested that Fury's too big and just too skilled for a Usyk. Do you share that same sentiment, or do you feel that that's going to be a really competitive fight between them?
I've always felt it would be really competitive. Tyson Fury's got so much skill, moves so well for a big guy, and I think he would have taken a ton of confidence from last week's result and seeing how well Dubois done at stages in that fight.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people say like, or a lot of pundits say like, hey, Fury has to be, thinking like, you know what, this is I have so many advantages in this fight. Like, I need to take this fight now.
Oh, for sure, yeah. I think listen, like I said, I know Usyk has got to take care of business with the likes of Hergovich, but I hope that in early to mid 2024 that they can settle this. Hopefully in an outdoor arena, maybe in the UK, and settle it once and for all.
But the big if is Ngannou, right? Or no?
Yeah, I mean, there's that big stumbling block. I mean, he's not a small man, is he? And he's training with the legend Mike Tyson now. Um, I don't think there will be an upset, but it's a great crossover fight, and there's going to be a lot of interest in it. But I don't think it's gonna scupper too many plans for sure.
Yeah, no, obviously like Tyson's the overwhelmingly favorite. I just kind of have this little voice in my head that says like, don't overlook Ngannou, which sounds crazy to me, but it's like he's a huge puncher, and you, I guess at least for heavyweights, you never know. Like that's you always hear like, oh, like one punch can change everything, and like for the most part in boxing, it's like for all the weight classes, it's like no, it's skill, and yeah, once in a while, yeah, a punch does land and it puts your opponent out, but like feel like for the heavyweights, like that really is like more likely.
Yeah, I think the smart bet is for to back Tyson to get to touchdown, then come back and win well. That's for sure.
Yeah, what is next? What are you eyeing date wise and opponent wise for you?
Well, I'm hoping November, December time, get back, and there's big talk. There's the potential fight with Jaime Munguia, Gennady Golovkin. So there's the talk at the moment is good and it's positive.
Well, John, hey man, it was good catching up with you. I want to throw a name out. I'd love to see you and Jermell Charlo. He's back training. He's in the gym again. I think you and him would be an excellent fight.
Well, if he wants to have a warm up, 2024, we can get on. If he wants to step up to 168, there's no chance of me cutting a leg off to get to 160. So if he fancies come up to 168, then I'll happily do it.
Yeah, I would love to see that fight. That's John Ryder. John, we hope this fight with you and Munguia happens this year. Looking for a November return. Just go ahead and close us out, John. Last message to the fans out there.
No, thank you for supporting. Thanks for the love you showed when I was in Mexico and stateside, and appreciate you guys.
All right, that was John Ryder.